Hey everyone, I'm Nick from WorkstreamIO. I'm our founder and CEO, and I'm really excited to give you a quick tour of our data knowledge system. Really the way to think about our solution set and our product is it's your one-stop shop for all of your data and analytics assets and all of your related data knowledge. And so it's the one place you can come to get access to all of this great data and knowledge around your data going forward. And there's kind of three big benefits that I'll take you through today. The first is we provide you a trusted repository of all of your data and analytics assets that's available to you at any point in time at app.workstream.io, our web application. We also help enable you on really invaluable knowledge and context about how to use that data, and that's available wherever you consume data via the Workstream Concierge, which is our Chrome extension. So make sure you have a Chrome extension installed. It's available by you can find it in the Chrome store by just Googling Workstream Concierge. And then finally, we also provide to you and we proactively surface to you actionable insights about the data that your organization uses so you can understand how what I'm looking at and what I have available to me might be relevant to me and how can I best use it based off of how our organization is adopting data. So to start on the first main benefit of our product, we provide you a trust repository of all of your data assets and knowledge, right? And so it helps you figure out what data you should have access to and what data you should use. And again, it's all available to you at app.workstream.io. As you'd expect from any file system or any repository, there's a number of different ways that you can browse to get at the assets that you need. So again, maybe it's the most recently viewed assets that you've looked at or the most recently viewed dashboards, and you'll see assets used throughout like our product, and really just we mean a file by that, a dashboard, a spreadsheet, a document. And so you could see things like the most recently viewed assets. You can get a library of all of the assets that are available to you within our system. You can get at a library of certified assets. So by certification, if you're not aware of what certification is, these are assets that have been certified by your data team and are actively supported by them. So in this case, the data team is saying, hey, you should trust this asset. We stand behind it. In this case, you can see these little blue check marks, and you can see here that Steve Young, this demo account, certified this asset on June 8th of this year. If you're, as an aside, if you're ever looking at something that's not certified and you think it's potentially valuable, you can always click to request certification as well. Nice little feature there that's valuable to you as any user of our product throughout your business to kind of communicate back to your data team. And then we also provide you a sub-library of your liked assets. And traditionally, teams and team members will often do things like flag these using bookmarks in Chrome or in your browser. And you don't need to do that anymore. You can just quickly get at those here through our product alongside everything else. All you got to do is quickly click this heart button, and nice little bonus feature is it also will give you some social signals about what else or who else in your organization is similarly upvoting or liking this asset. And then finally, you can also get at any collections that you have access to. And these collections, again, kind of think about them as a folder structure that have been curated for you by your data and analytics team. But again, they can go across any system you use to consume data or is relevant to you and your data knowledge and your data workflows, right? And so that could be a dashboard. That could be a Google Doc, right? And so everything and anything can kind of live here within our system and be made available to you via via our knowledge repository or our web app. So we get lots of questions from end users of our product about, hey, this is great, but can I consolidate my own assets within the system? And the answer is, of course, absolutely. And it's really easy to do so. And so there's a bunch of different ways that you can get assets or files into our knowledge repository. So the first, let me show you, and it's the default setting that comes with your workspace. And we call it auto add. And so we have an extension, and I'll show it to you, and it kind of follows you around and brings you knowledge wherever you consume data. But it also will automatically register assets if you want it to. And so the default setting is it will do this. If you want to turn that off, go ahead and turn that off at any point in time. And then you can also manage whatever asset type. So maybe you want Airtable assets to be automatically added, but not Google Colab notebooks and Google Docs for whatever reason. It makes the most sense for your workflow. And in that case, where you don't want something to be auto-added when you're consuming it, just come here and say, hey, I want to add this thing to consolidate it within my repository. And you can just give it a name and drop in the URL. It's literally as simple as grabbing the URL. And we'll register that asset for you. In this case, this asset already exists, so it just took me into it. But it is that simple to get something into our system. So I've showed you how to use our knowledge repository to browse for assets across systems, and how to add assets and get new things registered, new files registered within your instance of your knowledge repository. But of course, in a system like this, search is one of the most widely used features to just quickly find things. And so as you would expect, you can come log into your instance of the web app and just quickly search for anything. And what's really powerful about our search is that we'll return to you results across anything that's registered into the system, across anywhere you use to consume data. So in this case, I'm searching for churn, and it's showing me results across Google Docs, and a couple different data notebooking solutions, Mode and Hex. And it's also returning to me results based off of knowledge that are registered in the system. So in this case, this is documentation and training content. And this here are conversations that might relate to some of these assets that talk about churn. So I'll show you how to get at some of that knowledge, but this is one of the fastest ways to go and discover some of that knowledge in our system as well. So the final thing to be aware of when you're looking at our repository is there's also a way to get at any of the conversations to which you have access. So you can quickly hop in here. You can see what these are, maybe who the owner is, like what the status of this is. You can quickly hop into them, and then from here even navigate to the data asset they relate to, or come in here and create or flag a generic conversation as well. So now that you understand our knowledge repository and how you can use it to find the data that's relevant to you, let's talk about how you use it to get enabled on the data that's available to you. So in this case, I found this report, Business Pulse, and I want to go ahead to navigate to it, and it's literally as simple as clicking into it. In some cases, it's going to take you directly here. In other cases, we'll open this asset up right within a new tab in your web browser, so that you can go ahead and get access to this content directly from wherever you already consume data. And this experience, the Workstream Concierge experience, is also available to you by default, right? As long as you have the Concierge installed. And so wherever you are, you can get at that knowledge really by just clicking on it. So again, just make sure you have the Workstream Concierge installed. Now that you have used our knowledge repository to find and get at the asset that is relevant to you in that moment in time, you can go ahead and access it, right? And you can get at it and all of the knowledge that's available to you. And in some cases, if you go to do that, we'll just kind of take you right into it here from within our experience. In other cases, we'll actually take you over to your BI tool or that native system as well. And so you consume the data kind of where you're already used to. In this case, we'll bring our knowledge to you via, again, what we call the Workstream Concierge, which is our Chrome extension. So just, again, make sure to have the Chrome extension installed. And this experience where the concierge is bringing knowledge on top of where you might already be consuming data, this just becomes your default experience going forward. So when you think about data knowledge, there's so many different components to it. And with Workstream and the Workstream Concierge, it's really just a click away. And so all you got to do is click to open the Workstream Concierge directly in context with Looker or Tableau or whatever, wherever you're consuming data, and you can get off all of this information. And the first type of knowledge is context. What is this? How should I understand the context around it, right? And in this case, this is a certified asset. And you can see that this is a certified asset because there's a little blue little check mark. And Steve Young has been the one who certified this as of this moment in time. This is an asset that you have upvoted and others in the organization have upvoted and liked. And this is an asset that's active in its life cycle. It's something that you can stand behind and use today. It's not in development or expiring or something that might have even been archived in the past. So that's the first way to get at data knowledge in our system, is that really invaluable context. The second is, how do I use this asset? How do I incorporate it into my day-to-day? And again, this could be a dashboard, this could be a self-service asset, and you can get at that via what we call the content overview. And think of this as our documentation feature. And this gives you access to written documentation, training guides, even videos that might have been added to you or added for you by your data team that'll tell you how to think about when this data refreshes, or important definitions, or anything that the folks that stand behind this might have curated for you for anyone else in the organization. So again, when you think about data knowledge, workflow and collaboration and conversations is super important. You can get at any of those that might be available to you. So again, you have access to all of the existing conversations about this data, but you can also start new conversations, and you can do that directly from here, from within context of this asset. You don't need to go to some other system and grab a screenshot. It's all really seamless. You just click to start a conversation. And this could be, a lateral conversation with someone else on your team about a trend that you're seeing, or maybe you have a request or a piece of feedback for the data team, or even a question. But in this case, let's just say this is a conversation about a trend that you're seeing, and you want to loop in another member of your team, and you want to get really targeted with feedback. And you can do all of that from right here. There are tons of really awesome annotation options and ways to get visual and targeted with your feedback within our system. And again, all of that exists from right here, from on top of and in context within your live data. And so you can annotate things, and you can get at as well any other previous annotations that might have been made by yourself or other members of your team. So we've talked a lot about knowledge about your data, and this is context and how-to guides and understanding the data, workflow and collaboration around it. But so important is data quality. And so should I trust this asset? What's going on with the data at the current moment in time? And here as well, you can get at the status of your data. And in this case, you can quickly see that there's nothing to be concerned about. This data is fresh. This data is high quality. And you can have a lot of confidence when using this data, because this is plugged into kind of all of your raw data sources. And then finally, when we think about or we talk about data knowledge, we mean who's using this asset. and how is it valuable within your organization? And that type of social proof or social context is just so important in understanding, is this something that I should be incorporating or I can be using? And so we make this available to you via our Data Insights tab. And so you can just hop in here and you can see some high-level information about how is this thing been viewed. So you can see how many times has this thing been viewed in the past 30 days, who are some of the top viewers of this asset, and you can even get at a history of view data and usage data of this asset. So this is one of the areas of our system that's evolving quite a bit, but really gives you some of that awesome social proof and information about who else is using this and why you should find this valuable or not. So in our system, there are just so many different ways now within Insights that you can slice and dice your data and knowledge about your data to get at these insights. And of course, you can filter down the date ranges based off of whatever is most relevant to you. In this case, I'm showing you the past 30 days. And at any point in time, if you want to investigate more, you can clearly just go hop through, right? And click through, and you can get at what this asset is. And then if you want to investigate even more, you can click through all the way to that asset. And so it really closes the loop for you around what is information that's relevant to me, lets you investigate that, and then kind of get at that core information as well. So I hope that's helpful around understanding this last part of our system. So thanks so much for tuning in, especially if you've made it this far. And that's the quick tour of our data knowledge management system. And if I'm going to leave you with anything, again, there's kind of three big things to keep in mind. We provide you a trusted repository of all of your data and your data knowledge, and that's available via our web app at app.workstream.io. We enable you and everyone else in your team with knowledge about that data, and we make that data, that knowledge available to you wherever you consume data. So make sure you have our Chrome extension installed. It's called the Workstream Concierge, and you can find it by just Googling Workstream Concierge, and just make sure that you have that installed. And then finally, we help uncover to you actionable insights about the data that your organization uses, so you can understand what data others are using and what data might be relevant to you in your specific role. And we proactively will push this information out to you. This information is also available to you as well from within our web app. So that's really it for me today. If you want to reach out to our team, again, you can just reach out to us at any point at support.workstream.io, or feel free to get in touch with me. I'm Workstream's founder and CEO, and you can just email me at nick@workstream.io.